Hi YouTube. As you can see, I'm not on the bike today. Decided to do a little film, something a little bit different. I've been asked by a couple of subscribers who have watched my Aprilia Cup and Old Meat camping videos about what sort of equipment I use, why I use it, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. They're fairly new to motorcycling and to camping. And before they go out and spend loads of money, they want a little bit of advice, so they've asked me to make a small video. So this is just some of the basic essentials that I take with me. It's took me about 5 years to get to this stage with my equipment. I've gone through a series of sleeping bags, tents, sleeping mats. It's getting to know what equipment works for you, what you like, what you don't like. Most of the stuff that you tend to buy tends to be too big and too cumbersome to take on a bike, so it's just whittling out the bad stuff, keeping the good stuff, and knowing what works for you. The important thing about when you go camping and on a trip on a bike is you want to keep the bike, stop it getting too unwieldy by bringing too much stuff. You want to, go through the gear that you've got, scrap 50% of it and then sort through the rest, and then keep the essentials. If you take too much with you, it makes the ride there and the ride back, which is part of the holiday, it doesn't make it a pleasurable experience. It makes it a bit of a chore. So if you can keep the bike feeling like your bike, you basically want to add as minimum amount of weight and make it as fun to ride as possible. So if you take too much stuff with you, you just end up bringing most of it back anyway. So this is the sort of stuff that I use. So hopefully this video will be of some use and give you some insight into what I actually use. So let's start off with what I actually sleep in tent wise. It's always a good idea, depending on how many you're going. If you're on your own, it's always, but there are one-man tents. But when you're on a bike, you've got a bit of gear with you. You got your panniers, you've got your motorcycle kit. So it's always better to go one size bigger in person sizes on a tent than there's actually people going. So if there's two of you going, take a three-man tent, so on and so forth. So I use a two-man tent. The one that I use is a Vango Mirage. I've just bought this tent, very impressed with it. I've always been a fan of Vango products. They're very well made, go out really easy, instructions are clear, never any faults with them. When I have had a slight niggle, you phone up the technical department or email the technical department and they get back to you. Very, very helpful people, brilliant. So this is a Vango Mirage 200. It goes up all in one. A lot of the tents go up, you have to put the fly sheet up first and then put the inner into it, or vice versa, you put the inner into it and then put the fly sheet over the top. I'm not really a big fan of those, because if it's raining or anything, you put the inner tent up, put the fly sheet over, and by the time you've got the fly sheet over, your tent has got a little bit wet. With this one, it all goes up as one, so the inside stays dry all the time. It's a Duke of Edinburgh Award recommended tent, which is always a good thing to look for. It means that a lightweight tent designed for backpacking, which is good for carrying on a bike. It's not very big, as you see. The only downside thing, the only bad thing that I found with it is the bag that it comes in is an absolute pain to get the tent back into. So I put the tent up, attach the inside the fly sheet to the inner tent, collapsed it all up, put it back in the bag. But I've left the poles out. They're aluminium poles rather than fiberglass ones, and I carry those separately, just so I can distribute the weight, and it also makes it easier to pack in my panniers. Also, part of the deal that I got is I got a footprint for the tent from the same people. That's a really good idea, particularly if you're going somewhere where the ground isn't 100%, not nice and clean. Most of the time you're going to be camping on a farmer's field, or even on a proper campsite where we tend to go in Wales. You can get a little bit muddy. Well, the footprint is basically a ground sheet, the shape of the tent, so that your actual tent stays dry. So if you've invested a bit of money in your tent, then obviously for an extra, I think that was an extra, if you buy them they're about an extra 20 quid, £20, so for an extra £20 it protects your investment. With regards to sleeping bags, I've gone, the latest sleeping bag that I've got, this is about the 5th or 6th sleeping bag I've gone through. It's a Life Venture Downlight 900. I've never had a down bag before until I bought this one. I've always had a synthetic bag because they're cheaper. The down bags tend to be quite expensive, but the advantage of a down bag is it packs up so much smaller. This is it comes in a waterproof stuff sack, which I also use as a pillow. So I have a pillow that I take with me. Take the sleeping bag out, put that in the stuff sack, and use it as a pillow. You can also, if you don't want to carry a pillow, you can also take put clothing in there. I have a fleece that I normally take with me, a fleece jacket. Put a fleece jacket in there and use that as a pillow, so it's just one less thing to take. But I've got room for my pillow, which goes in a compression sack, so I'll take that with me. If you compare that bag to my normal cold weather sleeping bag, or cooler weather sleeping bag, which was an Outwell, you can see the difference in size. That is as compressed as that one will get. It's the size of a double sleeping bag, but it's because it's got so much loft in it to keep it warm, that it makes the bulk of a bulky bag. It makes the bag a bulky old thing, you know what I mean. So I've gone for this one. It's a lot smaller. It will compress down even smaller, but that fits in my pannier very nicely. With regards to mat, I have a foil insulation, just a cheap foil insulation that I put on the ground sheet of the tent, just to protect it, reflects any warmth from your body back into you rather than dissipating it into the ground. Brilliant thing. They're a couple of pounds. You can get them at big supermarkets and stuff now. Some of them sell them as like yoga mats, that sort of thing. But brilliant, for a couple of quid, and that just folds up like a piece of paper. Takes up no room. It's worth taking it with you. I used to always use a self-inflating mattress, but size-wise, while they're very comfortable, size-wise they don't compress. They end up being bigger. The one I had was a bigger pack size than my tent. So rather than use one of those, I've spent a bit of money, and I've got an X-Bed down mat light. This is a 5. They do them in various thicknesses. It's just over 5 centimetres thick when it's fully blown up. It's an air mattress. Very small, very compact, very light. It comes with its own pump, which, as you can see, is nearly as big. That's a good third of the size of the rolled up packet itself. But it needs to have a pump, because with it being a down mat, it's got down insulation in the actual inside of the air mat. So if you use your breath to blow it up, like you would a traditional air mattress, the moisture from your breath can actually cause fungus and mould to grow inside the mat. So that's why it comes with a pump. X-Bed, like the world leaders in air mats, worth every penny. Absolutely brilliant. I also have if it gets really cold, it's a bit of a luxury item. I have a silk sleeping bag liner. It's really thin, paper thin, but it adds 3 or 4 degrees to your sleeping temperature. So for the size of the bag, it's slip it in if you don't want to use it. You just took it for a ride. Brilliant thing. I have got a fleece sleeping bag liner, but yet again, it's the bulk of the thing. I use that in very cold conditions, or I take it with me if I'm in the car. So that's sleeping, and what you sleep in, what you sleep on. A couple of things that I take with me for cooking. I use a Coleman stove, which I carry with me. It's a 533 dual fuel. It'll run on unleaded petrol, or they do a special white spirit fuel from Coleman itself. I carry a siphon pipe in the bottom. Basically it'll run on unleaded, so if I've got fuel for the bike, I've got fuel to cook. It means I don't have to carry a gas canister or anything like that around with me, which can be a bit fiddly. I service it once a year. It costs me about £15 for a service kit if I use it regularly. These are about £50. You can pick them. I actually bought this one as a spares or repairs. It cost me £10. I spent £15 on a service kit, and I've had that for 4 or 5 years. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I have a toaster because I like a bit of toast, so that slips on top of the toaster. You can see how buckled it is because that's how much use it's had. Brilliant, a couple of quid. Water container which compresses up very small. When you fill it up, it expands. I have a one-man cook kit, which is actually for 2 people. Yet again, it's a Vango product. Bought cheaply in the sales. It's got a selection of pans that all stack inside each other. A couple of lids as a handle. I also put my corkscrew bottle opener in there. It's very important, like a beer. So it all compresses inside each other. You can buy various lightweight titanium, twin turbo, fantastic blooming camping kits. Stainless steel, washes up like new all the time. It's robust. You can. That's actually fell out the back of one of my panniers before at about 40 miles an hour. As you can see, totally undamaged, not even a dent in it. So fantastic. I have a stupidly small wooden spoon, just because. I have a tin opener. Yes, I have I carry like a Leatherman multi-tool with me, but I do like a tin opener, and it fits in using no spoon. This is my one concession to lightweight. It's my comedy spoon kit. It's very small. Knife, fork and spoon. It's actually made of titanium by Esbit. Bought in the sales. It was the same price as a stainless steel set, so we had titanium for a little bit of trickness. Super lightweight and very compact. So that's cook here. I have one of these gas lighters to light it. I've actually bought a smaller one which is about that big, which I haven't actually received yet. Should be coming in the post this week. So because that's just one out I nicked out of the kitchen. What else do I take? I take a nice chair for sitting down. Helinox Chair 1. Loads of videos on YouTube, loads of reviews. The best camping chair, bar none, in the worldwide ever designed by alien beings. It's just beautiful. It's an absolute work of art engineering. They do a table. They also do a bed called a Cot One now, which is being launched this year. Ridiculously expensive, but it is the best. I bought this one in the sale. I got it at just under half the retail price, with various discount vouchers and things. Otherwise I wouldn't have bought one. Always wanted one, but it's an absolute luxury item. But it's so comfy, brilliant, and it packs up really small. It's designed to hook on the bottom of a rucksack. It's got lots of hooks. You can put straps through, but it just slips nicely in a pannier. I have a small, compact, Chinese-made aluminium table, which is like constantly take it out of the bag. It's very easy. Just means that my camping stove has got somewhere secure to sit. It just unravels, the legs fold down. Very small, very compact. And super lightweight because it's aluminium. Because if you put the stove on the ground, a lot of the time, if it's not 100%, you can fall over, and with it being petrol, you don't want to make a mess. Other things to take: always take black bags. Be tidy. if you're using a proper campsite and there's a few of you and you want to go back again, you leave it untidy, the farmer or the campsite owner is not going to be very pleased with you. Wet wipes, always take wet wipes. If you want to do any bike maintenance, if you just want to freshen up, take your helmet off, wipe your face, wipe your hands. Brilliant. They cost, well, these are super economy baby ones from the local supermarket. They're not, well, I think they're about 60 pence. Not worth worrying about. Stuck them in a bag. I take a various torch. I take a head torch, which is not here. But I also take one of these, a Luminade. It hangs up in the tent. There's a hanging loop in the top of the tent, and it just makes camping a bit of a more pleasurable experience. It works like a children's swimming armband, water wing, I think you call them in various places. It's got a solar panel on the front, so I have that in the top of my tank bag. It charges up on the way. Let the LED tell you it's charging. You just inflate it. It blows up. It's got an LED in the back, and it gives enough light to read by. It lights up the whole tent without being intense light like you get from a torch, and it's so compact. It's brilliant. It was designed for disaster victims, earthquakes and stuff, because it's easier to pack. You can get a lot more of those in a box to send abroad than you can with a tubular torch. Absolutely brilliant, and some of the money from the cost of these goes to the charity to help disaster victims. Luminade.com, check it out. Not very expensive, absolutely brilliant thing. I carry a bike cover. I think this is horrendously expensive at £6 or something like that. I think it came from Hong Kong or somewhere. It came in like a week. It's just nice. It adds a little bit of security for your bike if you're leaving it somewhere. It's super compact, keeps it dry. When we go to Wales, we're quite high up in the sort of the mountains, so it just keeps the bike dry. You can just tail it off in the morning. It's a bit of another luxury item, but I like the security factor of just being able to cover the bike up. Just fits in the top of my top box. It's super lightweight. Side stand puck. This one I have a disc lock reminder tag on it, so I put it on under the stand, hook that onto the clutch lever to remind me it's under there. Always carry one of these. I carry 4 or 5 in the top box most of the time. Super cheap to buy, a couple of quid. I've got various collections of these from you get given them at bike shows, and if you go to British Superbikes or something like that, they always hand them out in goodie bags. Or if you go to British Superbikes or camping or BMF show or something like that, you can only walk around the car park after a few people have gone, because they tend to leave them behind, so you can pick them up for free. Recycling, I call it. I also carry a collapsible rucksack, very small. It folds. It's like a pack-a-mac. It folds into itself. This one came from the Renault Formula 1 team of merchandising. Just means that if you go shopping, you've got something that you can just, because most places charge you for a bag, or if you buy something unexpected at a bike show or something, while you're camping or while you're out, you've got something to carry it back. Quite strong. It's fairly lightweight and cheap, but you know, you can ride along at motorway speeds and it's still there. I also carry a toolkit. This is quite comprehensive, but it means I'm not going to get into trouble. I only tend to carry that if I'm on a long trip. If I'm in the UK, I've got an AA card for that. It's also got a puncture kit and stuff in there, because I've got tube tyres on the Tiger, and I carry a small air compressor which plugs into a cigarette lighter socket on the bike. But it also powers up through my tank bag, because it's got the same connectors as the rest of my charging gear. Which just means it gets you out of trouble, and it's not necessarily to help me; it's to help the guys that I'm with, because you know, most people don't tend to bring anything other than the factory supplied original equipment toolkit, and they're next to useless most of the time. So that's it, guys. Hope it's been of some sort of help. Gives you some sort of idea. Let me know what you think. If you want me to explain any more or go into any more detail, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.